boiled chicken breast. It's now nearly 1 p.m. into the third day. But if I want to take a shower and not potentially have catastrophic consequences ending in me being injured or dead, I have to eat something. I can't just take a shower. I have to eat. I dropped 5 pounds in 2 days from not eating anything. I don't feel like eating now, but I have to if I want to take a shower. My mother wants to get a dog. I told her, she's been saying that all, I told her I advise against it, but I can't stop you. And the fact is, just because I don't think it would be wise for her to get a dog, this world is filled with people who, shouldn't have a dog, or there are people in their lives who think that person probably shouldn't have a dog, or, people don't get pets based on well, I might wind up in the hospital and not be able to take care of the dog, You find someone who can take care of it if something happens to you. Arrange it ahead of time, which my mom says she has. So that's not an argument. She says she has someone to take care of the dog if something happens, like she wants it in the hospital. And again, people, there are people that I encounter that they know their dog runs into the street, and I can encounter the dog in the street because you've let the dog out loose in the yard, not on a leash, and then I can even say something to you, and a couple months later, the same thing, dog running into the street. So there are plenty of people who are not responsible, and even when they get indications that, the first time it's not their fault, but if you know your dog will run into the street and you still put your dog out in the yard that dog you supposedly love, I mean, we know my mom wouldn't do something like that, okay? She knows her dog has to be walked on a leash at all times, period. Okay, but there are people that aren't mentally ill who I see doing that. I encountered that when I lived there more than once. And it killed me. I'm like, I experienced your dog run into the street, could have got killed. Okay, granted it wasn't a horrible neighborhood, but so what? It could still happen. You don't have to live in a horrible neighborhood unless it's an enclosed thing. There could be people coming from the outside who don't follow the low speed limit. It happens, happens. So, and my mom keeps the place spotless. She showers, she dresses herself. Even the physical therapist had noticed that the place is spotless, immaculate, and commented on it. The physical therapist we had before. Right, so who am I? Who the fuck am I to say you can't have a dog, Mom? I can't stop her anyway. But what is the point of pulling out my hair and yelling at her, blah, blah, blah? She still can do it if she wants to. So I just calmly said, I don't think it's a good idea, but I can't stop you. And I explained, you have to realize it's a big responsibility. You want to get a rescue puppy, a pug puppy rescue, and it's a puppy, and it's a big responsibility, Mom. There's shots, if the dog gets sick, you have to get him to the vets, and there's all kinds of things. It's a living being who you're responsible for at all times. But again, there's plenty of people that I've seen who profess to love their dog so much, and yet I still see you risking letting him out in the yard without a leash, and more than once the dog running into the road. And lucky didn't get killed, but you love your dog so much. So it's Russian roulette. So I'm in no position to say you can't have a dog, Mom. Can't stop her anyway. The total gym was a different story. It's like there's nowhere to put it. You can't afford it. But she can afford a dog. She can get a rescue dog for a few hundred, and she's not buying $1,000 puppy, you know. So I can't say she can't have a dog. I can only point out that you know, I have reservations that you know, I don't think it's a good idea. It's just like when she makes friends, supposed friends, female, like a friend that's in the woman's in her 20s, my 70-something-year-old mom, I'm gonna have suspicions of that person. And say to my mom, don't give anyone any money, Mom. If you're gonna invite someone over, be careful, you know. But I can't stop her. I can only try to warn her the best of my ability. Same with the dog. Be careful, realize it's a huge responsibility, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know. And as for Joe, me being here, someone who genuinely loves him, genuinely appreciates every little thing he does for me and tells him so. If that's, and that's not enough. Me just having someone here, that not being alone, who loves you, but it clearly isn't enough. Else he would never even dream, never even risk treating me the way that he does. And he wouldn't say things like, you know, I do everything for you and you do nothing for me. Dagger in my heart. Hey, I already have extremely low self-esteem. I'm already aware of the dynamics between us. Okay? I already feel like a total loser in this life, and I foolishly believed you didn't view me that way. I'm never going to be appreciative enough in his eyes, ever. That's clear to me. That's how he feels. He feels like I'm just taking advantage of him, that I'm using him, that I'm not appreciative enough, that he thinks it's okay to be abusive towards me when he gets triggered. To hold his power over my head and throw me out, or say you can't use my computer, or scream viciously that get down here and clean this up, or whatever, and then behaving exactly like my father, like turn around and saying, when I say you're like my father, I'm not anything like your father, I don't treat you like but you do, those are the dynamics, you do, and you won't admit it, and you won't acknowledge it, so it's over, you know, like,